California Trip, Part 5, at the Reagan Library on July 11th, 2022. A quote from Ronald Reagan: "Whatever else history may say about me, I hope it will record that I appealed to your best hopes, not your worst fears, to your confidence rather than your doubts." Here's a quote from Nancy Reagan: "Every period of my life has been marked by dramatic changes, and these early years were no exception." Ronald Reagan, born in 1911, Tampico, Illinois. Ronald Reagan saved 77 lives as a lifeguard at Rock River in Dixon, Illinois. Ronald Reagan graduated from Eureka College in 1932 in Eureka, Illinois. Here he is kissing his mother. He served in the military. He was a sports commentator, later on a Hollywood movie star. Ronald Reagan was the popular host of the General Electric Theater show for 8 years on CBS. Governor of California in 1967 through 1975. The thrill of victory. Here he is campaigning with his family. Here he is on the campaign trail. He's with his wife on the airplane, having a good laugh. His people loved him. He looks like he's having a good time. The 1980 Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan presidential debate. At the end of the presidential debate, Ronald Reagan asked the American people, "Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?" Ronald Reagan won big over Jimmy Carter. Here's Luke. Maybe he could be President of the United States of America. Here's a quote from Ronald Reagan concerning his Santa Barbara ranch. "The ranch was a sanctuary for us like none other. There's nothing better for the inside of a man than the outside of a horse. Alona needs some training wheels. Get 'em up, rawhide!" A full-scale replica of the Reagan Oval Office during his presidency. Everybody except Lona could be a future president of the United States of America.
This door here that's flat to the wall is where guests come into the Oval Office. So if you're waiting to see the President, if you're waiting back there somewhere when he's ready for you, you'll be escorted in through that door. And the door you go to exit leads to the Cabinet offices and the Secretary's office. The desk is a famous desk. It's known as either the Resolute desk or the Hayes desk. And the history behind it is there was a British ship, the HMS Resolute, sailing off the east coast. It got stranded in ice and the British abandoned it. When the ice melted, the ship sailed on down, was rescued by the Americans, refurbished and sent back to the United Kingdom. So when the ship retired, Queen Victoria had this desk made out of the wood of the ship and presented it to President Hayes. So that's why it's called either the Hayes desk or the Resolute desk.
Here are some viewpoints from Ronald Reagan, President Ronald Reagan, concerning the issue of abortion.
They tell us not to impose our morality on those who wish to allow or participate in the taking of the life of infants before birth. Yet no one calls it imposing morality to prohibit the taking of life after a child is born. We're told about a woman's right to control her own body, but doesn't the unborn child have a higher right, and that is to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
The weakest of human vessels. Surely there is no human life more frail and vulnerable than that of an infant still in its mother's womb.
On a much lighter note, this is the Air Force One jet airplane. It's a version of the Boeing 707 jet airplane, which entered the presidential service in 1972 and it was retired in the year 2001. There's the police escort car, followed by the presidential limousine. and then followed by, I believe, the Secret Service vehicle. 1984 Cadillac Presidential Limousine. The Gipper. This is Ronald Reagan's nickname. It's based from a movie character role that he played.
What did they say? Okay.
Going over to Air Force One before boarding, take a few presidential pictures.
Here we are in front of Air Force One.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No problem. Little gallery there, huh? Stateroom 1, huh? That's pretty neat.
This is where senior staff rode, which would be the cabinet members, military aide. They always had a doctor on board and 2 secretaries in the back. The next section is staff or guests. After that is the Secret Service. And way in the back is the press, and they have to pay for their own seats. Since they don't work for us.
They get a free meal?
No, they have to pay $1 for their meal.
Okay.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal. Yep, you got the restrooms there. Okay. We can take a video in here, right?
Yes, just no flash.
Okay. Head back to the White House. We had a nice trip over to Camp David. Let's head over to the, let's head back to the White House. What do you say, Luke? Oops, watch the head. Watch the head. Green one. Yeah, okay.
This is the helicopter, right?
Yep.
socialism until you're communists and don't even know it.
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Are you a member of the Communist Party?
Thursday for freedom is your chance to find the right path.
One of the greatest peacetime spy dramas in the nation's history reaches its climax.
In New York, the 11 top American Reds are guilty of criminal conspiracy against the government.
Once more, a Moscow-made talent and crisis under Von Berlin.
Ronald Reagan's philosophy was peace through strength. Quote, "We know only too well that war comes not when the forces of freedom are strong, but when they are weak. It is then that tyrants are tempted."
As a result of its massive military buildup, the Soviets have made a significant numerical advantage in strategic nuclear delivery systems, tactical aircraft, submarines, artillery, and anti-air.
We're going to achieve something remarkable. And then, after everything had been decided, or so I thought, Gorbachev threw us a curve. With a smile on his face, he said, "This all depends, of course, on you giving up SDI." I couldn't believe it and blew my top. "The meeting is over," I said.
With diplomatic talks stalled after Reykjavik, President Reagan travels to the Berlin Wall to deliver one of the most pivotal speeches in American history.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Nothing in the West symbolized the differences between it and the Soviet Union more than the wall. Its removal would be seen as a gesture symbolizing that the Soviet Union wanted to join the broader community of nations.
3 months later, at a summit in Washington, they returned to the bargaining table. Gorbachev was ready to compromise his position on SDI.
He was a tough, hard worker. He was a Russian patient who loved his country. But there was a premise that kept our conversation on a man-to-man
The famous quote from President Ronald Reagan. "We know only too well that war comes not when the forces of freedom are strong, but when they are weak. It is then that tyrants are tempted." This is a famous painting from the famous artist Norman Rockwell. A quote from Ronald Reagan. "It is up to us to work together for progress in humanity so that our grandchildren, when they look back at us, can truly say that we not only preserve the flame of freedom, but cast its warmth and light further than those who came before us."
Oh, is this where he's buried? Okay.
Both Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan are buried here at the library. Whatever happens now, I owe my life to God, and I will try to serve Him in every way I can. This is a quote. Ronald Reagan, Diary, March 1981. Hey, Luke, don't get distracted, Luke. Come on, Luke. Come on, Luke. Don't get distracted. Hey, Luke, what's going on here? Whoa!